It is March 22nd, lesson 142. A reminder that we are starting our lessons with "My mind holds only what I think with God." Reviews for 123. I thank my Father for his gifts to me. 124. Let me remember I am one with God. So for these lessons, first thing that pops up is going to be what you're going to be working with. So as you start your day, I thank my Father for his gifts. First thing that comes to mind is my Father. Then let me remember I am one with God. So when we're reminded that we have the experience that we're living here, right, we should live our lives with a life of devotion as if everything was a spiritual practice, okay? When you take that in consideration, that how you do anything is how you do everything, then that gratitude is going to intensify everything for you, right? Everything, it's not going to have a means to an end, right? You're coming from a place of non-resistance, non-attachment, non-judgment. And when you do that, then you can find the bliss, the flow in things. It's very difficult to see the lessons when you're anxious, right? So lessons allow you to lessen the anxiety. It's very difficult to see the gifts that life gives you every single day when you're allowed to release these things, right? Everything is designed for the evolution of your consciousness, so of course what will show up will be for you to become whole again, right? That's all we're doing. We're just coming back. And then understanding yourself from a perspective of remembering that you are one with God is that you can never be separate, okay? So from my experience and what I learned today is that there are some habits that you will, consider to release or not, okay? And that's just up to you. Doesn't really matter. Nothing is going to be held against you. Of course, you have bad habits, then that's going to shorten your life. Even habits that you are addicted to or just won't want to let go, that's up to you, right? Everything is a choice. So God is being manifested in that aspect, right? Not everybody has to go through this crazy spiritual awakening where you have to go in a cave or something like that. You can find spiritual realization just by going through your life, right? You will meet that one person, a blind person or something like that, and they show you the true meaning of life, of how happy you can be even if you can't see, or your parents pass away or something like that, and you have to face reality for what it is and tell life what is the meaning of life through you, right? So life is happening through you. So once you choose that to be in unison with God, then again, you're forgiven. You can't do no wrong. This happened to me the other night where, if you push your body so much, your body is going to have this reaction, right? You can be as conscious as possible, and you will eventually, but nonetheless, you will pain, right? Look at Jesus, right? Nailed on the cross. It's not like he's not feeling pain, right? When you're enlightened, doesn't mean that you're not feeling pain. You're just dealing with it differently. So you can find these patterns, right? People will try to pull you in these arguments and stuff like that, and you'll find yourself just even enacting the actions, right? You're just going through the motions, and then you're just like, what am I doing again? All right, let me just set my emotions aside so I can make this $1 million, right? Can you set your emotions aside so you can finish the task in hand? That's really where it comes down to. Why? Because most oftentimes, when you got to that point, you didn't, right? So that's the awareness that is deepening, right? You're just at another level that all this doesn't really matter anymore. So you're just deepening and then these patterns are just rising up as you're raising your consciousness, if that makes sense, right? It's bottoms up. So you have to be able to see all the other areas that you need to implement this awareness, right? You may be at the core, but again, let's just say you're really good at basketball, but you didn't learn how to, drive with your left, right? So you can be as amazing as possible, and of course, but if you want to make it to the next level, right? This made self-realization, you got your new blue belts, that's when the hard work starts coming in, because that's where everybody else is at, right? If you're just limiting yourself to one avenue, it's not going to allow you to actually become whole, right? So when that occurs, that's why you allow yourself to have these gifts of lessons, because every time that you have the ability to learn something, it's just adding more to the repertoire. It's just adding on more to what you learned before. Okay, you have this new foundation, clean slate. You know who you are now. Okay, no one can take that from you. Right? At first, it was the experience. No one can take your experience, but now no one can take who you are. So it doesn't matter what this was before. This is a clean slate. It's almost like going to a whole different country and living there, right? Brand new slate, and that's what you're doing, right? You're just starting anew. It's a new beginning. It's a new earth, right? And that's all we're doing. It's the self-realization that we are seeking, because once you do that, then everything else is a choice. Anything before that was not a choice, right? It was your higher self leading you to this point so you can have choice. And that's where we're coming down to, the gift of choice. Okay, so, peace.